my darlings, it's Saturday, the 3rd of May. Guess what? Tomorrow's International Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, yes, I am. Well, that doesn't actually cover, or does it, today's subject? The art of survival. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a little bit of hopefully useful advice of what it has taken me 19 years to learn. I know, but it can be done. When I turned 30, I had a ruptured appendix and I had to have an emergency appendectomy. I had 2 young children, 2 young girls, and my poor husband was running around. Oh, poor guy. And running and just wondering how the heck he was going to cope. So, tough. It was tough. And then we were moving house as well, which is now. And we moved in here, and then the day after, my stepfather died. So, through no fault of his own, we had to take over and start running the family firm. And then we were greeted with the 2008 crash. And try as we might to keep going, in January 2011, we had to call time on the business. And it was hard because my husband and I both worked for the firm. And we had absolutely nothing. We'd used every ounce of everything that we had, savings, collateral, the lot, and threw it at that business. And when it went, we had nothing. And it was so, it was nigh on impossible. And because of that, I had to basically pull myself up by my bootstraps, both myself and my husband, and we had to start over again and set up another business with absolutely nothing. Yet we did it. And 14 years later, our business has just turned 14 and it's gone from strength to strength. And it was a very, very tough time because when you're down, everybody likes to get the boot in. And oh boy, that's where they're saying the beatings will continue until morale improves. My husband and I were always saying, when you hit rock bottom, keep digging. Yeah, you ain't hit rock bottom yet. No way. So in January 2011, we had to start over again. And it was so hard. We ended up down at the job centre and explained our situation. Had to get an emergency loan from them so we could go out and buy some food because we had no money at all with no food in the house. Oh, lucky us. And it was just unbearable. It was freezing cold. It was winter. We were terrified that the house was going to get taken off us, and we had to get a plan of action together. And so we contacted everybody that we needed to, like the gas, the electric, the usual, the utility services. And we explained the situation, to our mortgage, the people that set up the mortgage for us. And we explained that we would fall on hard times. We were in the process of doing, what do you call it, benefits. Yeah. Unemployment benefits, that's it, that's the word I'm looking for. And it was going to take time for the money to come through, but we were actively looking for work and trying to get another business up and running. And I believe me, whoa, that was really, really hard. And we did it. We managed to get the business that I'm doing now up and running. And I'm not ashamed to say it was taking in ironing. And I just said, if I can take in ironing and get paid for ironing, then I can, build a business from that. And boy, did we build a business from that. And now I have regular clients every single week sending me everything that they need sorting, and I have built the business from there. And yeah, we're the one in our local area, and that's what I do. And that enabled me to bring in an income and be at home to take care of our daughters. And my husband was helping me in the evenings by going out and doing the collections and deliveries. And it took a while for my husband to get proper employment. And he did. And he ended up working for an engineering firm that are in the oil industry and the gas industry and the water and agrochemicals. So they do valves, and that's what he does now. But it's taken us 19 years to get from a very shaky, almost house repossession, almost bankruptcy, to finally being on the other side with a viable business and another viable business on the way, which I started a couple of years ago. And it's just been baby steps. That's how you get through it in the beginning. It's called baby steps. We weren't sleeping properly. We weren't eating properly. The stress levels were through the roof. It was a combination, a comedy of errors, if you will, how my stepfather's business went under. It wasn't for the want of trying, but I was backstabbed by so many people. Myself and my husband were backstabbed by so many people who were angry and resentful and full of hatred. And the combination of that with the 2008 collapse and everything else, and it just got to the point where we just couldn't go on any further. It would have killed us. So we took the pragmatic decision in the January 2011, and we had to say goodbye to the said business. And I have never felt more frightened in my whole life with the thought of, how do we feed the kids? How do we keep a roof over our heads? How do we keep going forwards? And it's literally baby steps. My husband and I, we put our arms around each other, we protected and shielded the children from everything, and we kept on going. Because in this house, there is no retreat and no surrender, ever. Right? And as I say, when you hit rock bottom, keep digging, because you ain't got there yet. It was so hard. And each day we'd do a little bit more and a little bit more. Eventually we sorted out all the arrears that we were in with the mortgage and the utilities, and got everybody paid off. And we managed to start chipping away at the debt of the business. And they do say, how do you eat an elephant? A little bit at a time. And that's how we had to approach everything that we were going through, a little bit at a time. And things were going reasonably okay. I mean, certain members of my family really put the boot in. Really, really hurt me and my husband, to the point I ever trust them ever again. And they made our lives so horrendously difficult that in 2016 my husband had a heart attack over it. And he had a heart attack called the Widowmaker. And I have spoken before about my husband's heart attack and what happened that weekend. So hopefully I'll get a link somewhere on this video, and we can you can hear all about that too. So 2016 anyway, my husband had a heart attack, and that was after everything that they'd done to us and was still doing to us. And things got so bad after that. I know, could anything get any worse? Hold my beer. Hold me cup of tea. Could things get any worse after 2016 and he has a Widowmaker heart attack? Oh yes, they can. And they did. We just starting in 2016 to start righting the ship from 2011, right? So that's a big chunk of time. So I turned 40 and my husband day after had his heart attack. Lovely 40th birthday, wasn't it? Excuse me, I just need a drink. Anyway, he had his heart attack, and then we really got going to the races, and we thought things can't get much worse, but they did. Shortly after that, certain things went very wrong, and we were in real danger of losing our home. And we had an almighty job to try and keep our home, because we were about 7 days away from being made homeless, because our home was going to be repossessed. And believe me, when you're looking down the barrel of a gun of repossession, you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right. At that point, the menopause was hitting me really, really hard. And it just like, I was so stressed, my period stopped completely. And I ended up with the worst itchy skin and high blood pressure that I've ever experienced all my life. I mean, you're just about to have your house repossessed. You know, of course you're going to be having a little bit of high blood pressure. Yes, I know. Ooh, how do we survive it? Well, this is how we got through that as well. In 2019 was when it hit the zenith, right? It was December. It was December the 7th that we got the house back. I was like, yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. Woohoo! Turkey's on me. Literally. And we got the house back on the 7th of December 2019. And oh my giddy Antus. My heart at the moment is just galloping telling you this story. And we got the house back. And we sorted out with who was after the house, of which I will never mention who they are, because we agreed not to. Right. And so we sorted that out with them, and we took out a second mortgage, to which my husband and I are still sorting that out now. And we took it out over 12 years, so we're halfway through, right? And The only reason that we didn't lose our home the first time, didn't get it repossessed the first time, because we were in we were so far in negative equity that we were meeting it on the other side. I'm not joking. Oh gosh, when the business originally went in 2011, we lost a lot of money, and it's a one with many zeros, right? Many zeros. And because we were in so much negative equity, we made an agreement with the then mortgage provider that we were going to just stay here, and we were going to give what we could when we could, and as long as we met our obligations of paying something, then they were hanging on basically and giving us time to right the ship so we could start paying them the mortgage and the accrued money that we, from the bit that we didn't pay, right? Mortgage arrears. That's the word I'm looking for. Mortgage arrears. So that was the only reason we didn't get the house repoed in the first place. And in the second place, well, because we had been keeping up with the mortgage and we weren't in arrears, and we'd actually built up some equity, and then the house was more desirable to take offers. Can you imagine how scary that is? So we sat down and worked a way out and managed to remortgage. And that was so scary. That was unbelievably scary. But everything went through on the 7th of December 2019. And we were so relieved. And that's when we rescued Orca. Now, I've told you about the story of Orca the cat. Now, Orca, God bless him, he will always have a very special place in my heart because he rescued us as a family. Because we always said if we ever got the house back, the first thing we were going to do was rescue Orca from the RSPCA, and he was going to come and live with us and live his best life. And oh boy, did he live his best life. Right up to Mother's Day of 2023. When we lost him. No, I'm getting my years wrong. We lost him in 2024. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's a year ago last March that we lost him. And then sorry, I got completely lost with in December of 2023, December the 1st, 2023, Monty was born, right? And he was born on the streets. Yeah. And I've told you about Monty. Well, you know who Monty is. He's our little boy cat now. And in March of 2024, we lost Orca. And in the April of 2024, we found Monty, and he was 15 weeks old. And we adopted him. And he's been with us ever since. Tearing the house up, but we love him. So you can imagine the heartbreak that we went through in March of 2024 when we literally had just adopted Orca in the December of 2019. And then to lose him. It hurt. It really hurt. Because he was our good luck boy. And he rescued us. So rolling on. December the 7th, 2019, we all had a very good Christmas. And then what happened in 2020? COVID hit us. And we were panicking like mad, my husband and I, because we were told to stay home and save lives. So we did the ultimate thing that we could do. We both became key workers. My husband couldn't leave his position where he was because he was responsible for making the valves and getting, well, he's health and safety, is my husband. He's a health and safety engineer. And those valves needed to go out because Britain still needed to keep turning. Gas still needs to be pumped and water still needs to come out the tap, and chemicals still need to be made. So he went to work as a key worker, and I had to flip my business on its head. And instead of doing for all of the general public, I shut that side of my business off, and I ended up taking in and working for terminally ill people. They became terminally ill patients. They became my people, and I worked for them, and I was taking on everybody who had a terminally illness. And I would go in, I was gowned up, gloved up, masked up, so that they wouldn't, get anything from me. And I delivered to a room, and I'd anti-back the handles and everything. Even though I was gloved up, I was still anti-backing everything. And I was leaving everything for them completely anti-backed and wiped down. And I was having to live like that all the way through. And it was just horrendous how we kept the business going. And it was really, really hard. Thanks to the lessons that I'd learned in 2011, when we first lost the original business, I became somewhat of a prepper. And I had cupboards, a storeroom full of food and medical supplies and medication for my husband. Because believe it or not, since his heart attack, he has to have 6 tablets a day just to stay alive. And the people that caused him to have all that stress, no, I don't think I can forgive them. I want to, I'd love to. But even after he'd had his heart attack, they still kept putting the boot in. And do you know how you deal with people like that? You give them enough rope so they eventually hang themselves. And after all the people that have hurt us, we're the last ones standing. And they've all fallen by the wayside. And I say, I can be your best friend in the universe, or I will be your worst enemy. And it's up to you to choose which one you want. You never, do not come for me or my family. That's the first rule. Do not come for me or my family. And that's what they've all had to learn the hard way. So we kept going through COVID. Eventually we came out the other side. And we still have our business, and my husband is still doing his engineering, and we're still managing to survive. And although it felt like the impossible back in 2011 when everything finally imploded, if we can survive the loss of a business, if we can survive the brutality of my family, and we can survive my husband's heart attack, and COVID, and bankruptcy, and repossession of houses, what I'm basically saying to you guys is, so can you. And I know this year is going to be a tough year for so many of you. And maybe you're about to go through what we've already been through. All I'm saying to you is it can and you will overcome the problems. Hang on to your partner. Wrap your arms around your children and protect them from the flying arrows. As our dear Harold, King Harold II, who had the Battle of Hastings at 1066 on the 11th, was it? The 14th, I wrote this one down, the 14th of October, about lunchtime. They had a set to, and unfortunately, poor Harold, he wasn't listening to my advice when I shouted, "Look out, lads, these arrows will have your eyes out." So it's a joke that runs through this family. Yes, I know Harold dropped dead on the Battle of Hastings field. So look out for those arrows is what I'm saying, because they will have your eyes out. And keep your head down and keep grafting. And every day, in every way, you'll make a difference. And eventually, you'll leave what had happened in the past, and you'll be moving forward to brighter and better days. And if I can do it, I'll be damned sure you can do it too. Because I didn't do it on my own. My husband and I, we did it. There is no I in team, right? I know it's an old cliche, but there is no I in team. It's a team effort. My husband and I, we did it together. We survived it together. The loss of a business, the bankruptcy, near bankruptcy, the near repossession, the negative equity. Man, those numbers had so many zeros, it was unreal. And we got through it, We rescued Orca. Orky rescued us. Sadly, we said goodbye to him in 2024. And I will always be heartbroken over losing him, because he was precious. It was Orca. It was very precious. Finding Monty was a blessing. Monty is a little monkey chops. We love him. He's our fur baby. He is our beautiful boy. And we've had many adventures. If you want to see any of his videos, it's the Monty family adventures. You can see him right from when he was a kitten, right up to the one I did this morning. Yes. I'm just saying, hang on in there, everybody. You can get through the hard times. You can survive. It's not easy. It has floored me in many ways. But, I'm still here. I'm still kicking. The business is still going. And we're surviving. And you can do it too. And I know you can. Because if you've got this far into the video, then I know that you're a fighter. And you're a fighter like me. And you don't understand the word quit. As I've often said to my daughters, Mama didn't raise no quitters. She might have raised a couple of psychos, but she didn't raise no quitters. And you girls are never going to quit. And they didn't. And look at them now. They're getting the degrees. Well, one's already got one, and the other one's on her way. Well, if you like what I've done, you can always give me a thumbs up. And if you really like what I've done, you can always give me a follow. Now take care, my darlings, and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.